Drivers act like translators between your computer and the printer, making sure the print job is understood by both parties. What a print driver essentially does is convert the data into a format that the printer can understand. However, drivers are not without issues. Common problems can include outdated drivers or incompatible versions, which can throw a wrench in your printing tasks. Common printer driver issues could be as minor as slight print deformities or as serious as failed print jobs, so managing your driver is essential. Updating and rolling back drivers can be done to solve these issues. It's time to learn about printer drivers hands-on. Let's get into another demo where we're going to first learn how to find all installed drivers with PowerShell. We'll then update a driver, and then the most useful feature of all, we'll learn how to back up and restore a printer driver. So I'm here on my SRV1 print server, and to start off with, let's create an example printer. Now, since I don't have any physical printers in my environment, I'll create a mock printer with the add printer command. This command is adding a printer named mock printer that uses the Microsoft Print to PDF driver and using the LPT1 port. Since the Microsoft Print to PDF driver is a default driver, I didn't need to actually install anything to get this printer going. So now let's confirm that the printer was created. Yep, I see a local printer name there, the driver it's supposed to use, and the port. Next, we need to list all of the printer drivers installed on this machine to figure out if they're up to date. And to do that, I can use the get printer driver command. This command returns a list of all the installed print drivers, making it easier to spot any that may need updating. In this case, we're using a printer that's using that Microsoft Print to PDF driver. It looks like it's at version 4. Now let's update our mock printer's driver. Of course, we're just simulating here. You typically download the new driver and install it, but for now, we'll switch the driver using set printer. Great, no errors. The mock printer should now be using that other driver. And last but not least, always be prepared to roll back. So before updating the driver, let's first back up that current driver. The drivers are stored in INF files. You can find the INF file for a driver with the get printer driver command, and there's an INF path property that I'm going to look for. Now you can see the INF file for that printer. Then you can use the get child item command to confirm it exists on the file system. So it looks like it does exist, or you could actually use the test-path command if you would like, if it's not a folder. Sometimes it's a folder, sometimes it's an individual file. Now, since the directory for that printer driver may change when you re-update it, you should copy the entire directory that INF file is in if it contains other INF files. Let's see what this folder contains to make sure there's anything else besides that one INF file. So you can see there's quite a bit of other files in there. Now to copy this, you can capture the directory name if you want to automate this and copy the entire directory. So here I am getting that printer driver INF path. I'm passing it to splitpath-parent, which is going to get me the name of the directory itself. So instead of copying and pasting, I can simply pipe that to splitpath. And there you can see that it's just simply giving the path to the directory. And then once I get the path to the directory, I can pipe that to copy item and then specify a destination of wherever we want to back up to. In this case, I have a folder called drivers backup, and I'm going to recurse, which means if there are any subfolders in that directory, it's going to go ahead and get those. So now that I have that, let me check my drivers backup folder, and you can see that they are there. So everything is backed up. Now you're safe to update the driver. We'll have to use a command line utility called pnputil. This is a handy utility to manage Windows drivers in general. So first, I need to find the actual name of the driver that pnputil is using, because sometimes it's not the same as the actual file name. And to do that, I can use the pnputil switch called enum drivers. And looking through here, you can see one of these has the original name of prnms001.inf. That is the one that I need. It looks like the actual name it needs to be is oem7.inf. That's the one that I can reference it with. So now that we have the actual name of the driver to remove, I can remove it. Since the newer driver is installed, I can then install back the old driver that we backed up by pointing to the backup. And now you can see that it again made OEM6.inf. So we backed it up, removed it, we restored the backup. Now, if you need to roll back the original driver, you can first stop the print spooler from holding the files. And then once you've done that, you can copy all those files back into the original directory. Oh, looks like I had the wrong path. And we'll try this again with the right path. And voila, it is back. You're now back at your original driver. And don't forget to start the spooler again. Today, we went over how to manage printer drivers using PowerShell. We created the mock printer. We listed installed drivers. We went through the process that you would go through when updating a driver and have rolled back all the changes. All this without ever touching the GUI.